Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, this is the place where we learn Python step by step in a simple and friendly way. Today we have a really exciting lesson. We are going to cover three very important topics that every Python beginner must know. First, we will talk about type conversion, which means changing one type of data into another. Second, we will learn about comments and code readability. This is how to write clean and easy to understand code. And third, we will look at how to use the input function. This lets your program actually talk to the user. By the end of this video, you will be able to write interactive Python programs. So let us get started right away. Type conversion. Let's begin with the int function. I already prepared some code before the video to save time. Here we have the value 42 stored in a variable called x. Even though it looks like a number because it has quotation marks, Python sees it as a string. To confirm that, we have to use the type function. I placed it inside the print so we can see the result directly in the terminal. As you mentioned before, the string is printed in the terminal. That means we cannot use it properly in math operations. So what is the solution? We need to convert it from a string to an integer. In the next line, I store int x in the x variable again. This function will change the type of your variable to an integer. Now, if we print the type again, we can clearly see that x is now an integer. And since it's a number now, we can do math with it. Now we can multiply x by 2 to test the functionality and print it out. Another example. Now let's convert a float into an integer. Suppose we have price is 10.99. If we convert it to an integer, the result will be different. The decimal part is removed and Python keeps only the whole number. Now let's talk about float. Float convert values into a decimal number. For example, px equals 20. Data type is an integer and should change to a float. In next line, I convert it to float and store it in px again. Finally, print the value and type of variable in terminal. As you can see, the 20 printed as decimal number. It means the type of variable is no longer an integer and has been changed to a float. Now let's talk about str. This one is extremely useful. It converts values into strings. But you might be asking yourself why I should use it? Great question, because sometimes we want to combine text with numbers. For example, age equals 25. Without str, Python gives an error, because Python cannot join text and numbers directly. So str solves that problem. You don't always need to convert variables in a separate line. You can do it directly where you need it, like I did before in previous. All right, let me show you a mistake that every beginner makes at least once. If you try to do it hello, Python is going to freak out and give you an error, because hello can't be turned into a number. Makes sense, right? You can only convert a string to int or float if that string is actually a valid number inside. So int 42 works. Int hello does not. Now here's the big one, and this connects to what we'll talk about later. Whenever you use input in Python, you always get a string back. Even if the user types the number 5, Python sees it as the text 5. So you have to convert it. We'll see exactly how to do that in section 3. Okay, let's talk about comments and code readability. A comment is just a line in your code that Python completely ignores. It doesn't run it, doesn't care about it. It's purely there for humans to read. In Python, you write a comment by putting this symbol at the start of the line. So basically, Python ignore everything you write in same line. I know what some of you might be thinking. Why waste time writing stuff that doesn't even run? Here's the thing. You write some code today and it makes total sense to you right now. You come back to it 3 weeks later and you have no idea what you were doing or why. That happens to everyone. Seriously, even experienced developers. Comments are basically notes to your future self. And if you ever share your code with someone else, a teammate, a friend, anyone, comments make the difference between code that's easy to understand and code that's a complete nightmare. Good comments are honestly a sign of a good programmer. The most common type is just a single-line comment. You can also put a comment at the end of a line of code. Write your code, add a hashtag, and add a quick note. Works perfectly fine. If you need to write something longer, you have two options. Option 1, just put a hashtag on every line. Option 2, use triple quotes, 3 quote marks in a row. You write your text between them. Technically, Python treats this as a string, not a real comment, but since it's not stored anywhere, Python just ignores it. Developers use this all the time for longer descriptions at the top of a file. Code readability tips. Okay, let's talk about readability for a second, because this is something I really care about. Writing code that works is one thing. Writing code that's easy to read is a whole other skill. And honestly, the second one matters just as much. Here are a few quick tips. 1. Use meaningful variable names. Don't just call everything X or Y, call it user age or total price. The name should tell you what's inside. 2. Add spaces around your operators. Write age equals 25 instead of age equals 25. Just looks cleaner and is way easier to read. 3. Use blank lines to separate different parts of your code. Think of it like paragraphs in an essay. It helps the reader follow along. 4. Write a comment whenever you do something that might not be obvious. You don't need to comment every single line. But if something could be confusing, add a quick note. These habits will make you a much better programmer, I promise. All right, section 3. The input function. This one's fun. So far, if you write a Python program, it does the exact same thing every time you run it, which is fine for learning. But real programs need to respond to the user. The input function fixes that. It pauses your program, shows a message to the user, and waits for them to type something. Whatever they type, your program can use. This is how almost every real application works. It takes information from the user and does something with it. The syntax is super simple. You just write input. Inside the parentheses, you put a message in quotes. That message is what the user sees. It's called the prompt. So, input. What is your name? Python displays that message and waits. The user types their name and hits enter. Then the program continues. But here's the key thing. If you want to actually use what they typed, you need to store it in a variable. So here we use the input function, and inside the parentheses, we just put our question. What is your name? Now, whatever the user typed is saved in the variable called name. Once you have it stored, you can use it anywhere. Run that, type your name, and boom. The program greets you personally. That right there is your first interactive Python program. Okay, here's the part that trips up so many beginners. Pay attention to this. The input function always returns a string. Always. No matter what. If the user types 25, Python gives you the text 25. Not the number 25, the text, with quotes around it. So if you try to do math with it, say you want to add 5 to the age, Python will give you an error, because you're trying to add a number to a string, and Python doesn't allow that. The fix? Type conversion. You wrap input with int or float. Like this, age equals int input. How old are you? What happens here is Python runs input first, gets whatever the user typed as a string, and then immediately converts it to an integer with int. All in one line. Now, age is a real number and you can do math with it. And when you want to print it with text, remember to convert it back with str. All right, let's wrap it up. Today we covered 3 big things: type conversion, int, float, and str. You now know how to change data from one type to another and why that matters. Comments and readability. You know how to write comments with the hashtag symbol, and you know why clean, readable code is something worth caring about from day one. And the input function. Your programs can now actually talk to the user. Just don't forget to convert the input when you need numbers. If this video helped you, drop a like. It genuinely helps the channel grow and tells me you want more of this content. Got questions? Leave them in the comments. I check them, and I love helping you guys out. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit that button so you don't miss the next video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.